Borussia Dortmund in the 2015-2016 season is the best runner-up in Bundesliga history, after earning 78 points in 34 match days, which will be the equivalent to about 87 points in a 20-team 38-game league. It was the first season after Jurgen Klopp's departure, and Thomas Tuchel, even without winning the title, did more than a decent job. Powered by the form and quality of Ilkay Gundogan, Marco Reus, Henrik Mkhitaryan and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, 78 points are usually enough to win the Bundesliga, but not if you happen to share the timeline with Pep Guardiola's Bayern. Tottenham Hotspur lost the fewest matches in the 2016-2017 Premier League season, but not only that, the Spurs also scored the most goals that year, 86 in total. But wait, there's more. The Lily-Whites were also the team that conceded the fewest goals, just 26. Harry Kane was the Golden Boot winner with 29 goals, and to top it off, Dele Alli scored 18 goals and provided 9 assists, earning the Premier League Young Player of the Year award. It was a special season, the last one at the old White Hart Lane Stadium. In fact, Spurs went undefeated at home for the first time in 50 years. Tottenham crushed every Premier League stat that season, but somehow, in true Spurs fashion, they still finished 7 points behind Antonio Conte's Chelsea, who won the only thing that mattered, the title. Francesco Totti Roma finished second in Serie A 9 times. The runner-up finish in 2017 was the most meaningful for several reasons. First, because it was the final season in the captain's endless career. Second, because since then, Roma hasn't even come close to competing for the Scudetto. And third, because Roma was never better. Not even when they won Serie A in 2001 with 75 points. The 2017 Roma was the best in club history, led by that season's capocannoniere Edin Dzeko, who scored 29 goals during a 2017 pact with world-class forwards in the Calcio. Mohamed Salah in his final season before heading to Liverpool had 15 goals and 13 assists. That historic season under Luciano Spalletti with players like Wojciech Szczesny, Antonio Rudiger, Raja Nainggolan, Daniele De Rossi, etc., and still finished 4 points short of Juventus, who won their 6th straight Serie A title. Paris Saint-Germain in 2017, the one that failed to win Ligue 1 and went on to desperately spend over 400,000 million on Neymar Jr. and Kylian Mbappé. Actually, it wasn't as bad as people think. In fact, Unai Emery's PSG that season collected more points than in 2012, 2013, 2015, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024 or 2025. To be clear, that PSG side was the 5th most productive in club history, but they had the misfortune of going up against a once-in-50-years team. The Monaco side of Fabinho, Bernardo Silva, Radamel Falcao, Mbappé and company, who finished 8 points ahead of PSG. Edinson Cavani had the season of his life, scoring 35 goals in 36 matches and nearly winning the Golden Boot. But in the end, they didn't even win the French league. Much is said about Juventus in 2006, and the scandal that stripped them not only of their Scudetto that year, on the one from 2005, but also relegated them to Serie B. You know, to redeem their sins. But little is said about the forgotten 2006 Milan, with Dida, Pirlo, Inzaghi, Vieri, Gilardino, Stam, Cafu, Seedorf, Gattuso, Shevchenko, Maldini, Kaká, Rui Costa and Carlo Ancelotti. that Milan finished with 88 points. Yes, 88. It was the best Milan ever. Even if we adjust for eras by converting wins to 2 points instead of 3, the Rossoneri had never won that many matches in Serie A. 28. They scored 85 goals, a number only matched by Milan in the 1950s. So what happened? Well, despite everything, Milan earned fewer points than Juventus, and even though they didn't make as much noise as Juve, they also got caught up in Calciopoli, receiving a brutal 30-point reduction, enough to drop them out of the title race and let Inter Milan, originally third, end up as champions. In 1997, Manchester United won the Premier League with 75 points. The legendary treble-winning United of 1999 won the league with just 79. In 2001, 80 points were enough. Same in 2011. In 1996, Sir Alex Ferguson's team won it with 82 points. In 2003, they did it with just 83. One of United's finest versions, the one that won the first ever Premier League in 1993, had 84 points. In 2008, they won it with 87. In 2013, once again. Ferguson won the Premier League 13 times, and in 10 of those seasons, he won it with fewer points than the 89 earned by United in 2011-2012. The year they lost the title to that Sergio Aguero goal in the final seconds. That gave Manchester City their first Premier League title on goal difference. Hansi Flick's Barcelona is already La Liga champion with 85 points. Arne Slot's Liverpool clinched the Premier League once they hit 82. If Antonio Conte's Napoli finishes on 84 points, Inter won't be able to catch them in the Scudetto race. Reaching 85 points is generally enough. Getting to 90 almost guarantees the title in any top league. And I said almost because of 9 historic exceptions. 9 teams that reached the 90-point mark and still fell short. One of them, Barcelona in 2017, Luis Enrique's final season. That year Barça scored 116 goals, 10 more than Real Madrid, and conceded just 37, 4 fewer than Madrid. But in the only stat that matters, they finished with 90 points, 3 short of Zidane's Real Madrid. It was the season Neymar left, and the beginning of the Blaugrana downfall. In fact, 2018 was the last time Barcelona ever reached 90 points. Few want to admit it, but the 2023-2024 Arsenal was brilliant. The best defensive record in the Premier League with just 29 goals conceded. They won more games than ever before, 28, and finished with 89 points. That's just one fewer than the 2004 Invincibles, who didn't lose a single game. That legendary team had a 47-goal difference, way below the 62 registered by last season's Arsenal. The only difference, and get used to hearing this name, was that in 2024, Pep Guardiola was in the way. Mikel Arteta's Arsenal was outstanding, but Manchester City were 2 points better. Napoli's 2017-2018 season saw them become the highest scoring runner-up in Serie A history. Not even Maradona's Napoli, or the title-winning side of 2023, managed more wins or points. Maurizio Sarri was the manager, Dries Mertens the top scorer, Jorginho and Marek Hamsik the giants, Lorenzo Insigne the idol, Jose Callejon the breakout star. Napoli ended with 91 massive points, enough to win the title in almost any other season, but not in 2018, when Juventus hit 95 to win their 7th straight Scudetto. In his first season, Pep Guardiola won the league. In his second, too. In his third, same story. Only in his fourth and final season with Barcelona, he did not. And yet, the 2011-2012 campaign with 91 points remains the best Barca season that didn't end in a title. That year, Lionel Messi shattered even his own records. 50 goals and 19 assists in just 37 league games. Insane numbers. But not enough to overcome Jose Mourinho's Real Madrid, who scored 121 goals and reached 100 points. After his treble-winning season with Inter in 2010, Mourinho joined Madrid to bring order. His first season is the most remembered out of the three. The 5-0 thrashing at the Camp Nou, the 4 Clásicos in 18 days, the press conference firestorms.
En esta sala, él es el puto jefe, el puto amo, es el que más sabe.
He did win the Copa del Rey final, lost in the Champions League semifinals, and just fell short in La Liga with 92 points. That year, Cristiano Ronaldo broke the Pichichi record with 40 goals in 34 games. 4 years later, Madrid, now with James Rodriguez and Chicharito Hernández, again reached 92 points. Still not enough, as Luis Enrique's Barça completed another treble. The 2014-2015 season, Madrid side scored 118 league goals, set a record with 22 straight wins, and saw Cristiano have arguably the best season of his career. 48 league goals and 61 in all competitions. All for what? To lose everything. Copa del Rey, La Liga, Champions League, and see Carlo Ancelotti, not for the last time, get fired. Liverpool's 2021-2022 season could have been legendary. They won the Carabao Cup, the FA Cup. They should have won the Champions League, if not for Thibaut Courtois, and should have won the Premier League with 92 points. But as with most teams on this list, Pep Guardiola happened. Yes, that beast of perfection. City finished 1 point ahead in a Premier League with zero room for a mistake. In 2009, Real Madrid signed Cristiano Ronaldo, Karim Benzema, and Kaká, and Raúl was still there. Under Manuel Pellegrini, they won 29 league games and finished with 96 points, an 84% success rate, better than any season in the Di Stéfano era, better than any year during La Quinta del Buitre era. In fact, better than any Madrid season ever, except for the 2011-2012 side under Mourinho. Statistically, it was the best Real Madrid ever until 2010, and still the second best in history today. But it wasn't enough to beat Pep Guardiola's Barcelona. Liverpool just didn't win the Champions League in 2019. They were also the greatest runner-up in the history of any major league, 97 points, and still not enough. Liverpool, the most decorated club in English football, has won 20 league titles, but its best season ever was the one they didn't win. Again, thanks to Pep Guardiola. They lost just one game. Alisson Becker had 21 clean sheets in 38 games. Sadio Mane and Mohamed Salah shared the golden boot with 22 goals each. Still, it wasn't enough. And because of 11 millimeters. After Mané hit the post, the ball needed just 11 miserable millimeters more to fully cross the line before John Stones' legendary clearance, which may very well have prevented Liverpool from winning the Premier League undefeated. Instead, they went down in history as the greatest second-place team ever.